G'day guys, welcome back to Shenke Garage. So in this episode, gonna get back into the tray, got the headboard to finish off and just get it ready for the base and the clear. So it's all pretty much ready for that. So this will be the last episode on the tray. You can start getting back into other things on the build. So it's been a while since I posted the last episode on the build and I want to apologize, but work's been quite hectic. Things have changed in my work and I've been really focusing on work at the moment. And to be honest, I kind of needed a little bit of a break. I was starting to feel a little bit burnt out. It's been 2.5 years since I've started this build, making content, uploading videos. And yeah, it's just been a lot of my time and effort and energy has gone into this build plus YouTube. So I really was starting to feel burnt out. So I just needed a bit of a break. So hopefully you can understand, but I feel nice and refreshed now. Basically, no more excuses. I need to stop being a piece of shit. I need to get some more motivation and get this thing finished off so I can start to enjoy it and then look at what's next for the channel. So yeah, with that, we'll jump into the video and hope you guys enjoy. Okay, back into the 1 tonner tray after having a little bit of time off. So I'm feeling pretty refreshed now and keen to finally get this tray finished off. I know it's been a long time coming. I think in the last episode, we got the headboard all installed and I was waiting on the infill panel. So since then, I ended up getting Rob from Straight Cut Solutions. Now Rob done all the CAD work for the infill panels on the tray. So he just come around, measured it up, and done this design. I'll put it up on the screen right now so you can see what it looks like. And you can just see he's continued on that same style of the tray onto the headboard there. So I think that looks pretty good. I've already got the infill panels from the laser cutter and I've installed it already, but I'll just show you how I've done that. So you can just see it's got a 90-degree bend on the bottom of the infill panel. So the laser cutters, they just cut that piece out and then put a 90-degree bend in afterwards. And it's already got the bolt holes already laser cut into the panel. And I've just picked up these bolt holes here on the end of the tray. So they're just nutserted into the frame of the tray. And you're not gonna see them bolt holes or them bolts because that infill panel will just sort of sit in roughly about here. So you're not gonna see them from the outside. And then around the headboard, the tubing, I've just welded in these tabs here. So there's 7 of them welded around, which will hold the rest of the infill panel to the headboard. And how I've done that is I've just used a bit of flat bar and then I've just sat the headboard onto the welding table. So the welding table is nice and flat and then I've just got some spaces and then just sat that on there, put the tab onto there and then just tacked it into place so it sits nice and square with the tubing. And then the outside of this infill panel is sitting exactly right in the middle of the tubing, of the diameter of the tubing. Okay, that headboard is all finished off now and I think that's looking really good. Obviously, this insert needs to be wrapped in the carbon fiber, same as these sections here. So I'll pull that off and take that around to Carmen's Auto Trimmers to be wrapped. And then, the rest of these infill panels and the headboard and everything can all come off now and I can start spraying them in epoxy and then start getting them ready for base and clear coat. Okay, I'm just going to go over all these panels with the orbital sander just to scuff them all up so the epoxy sticks a lot better. I don't have any 80 grit paper, so I'll just use the 120 grit. I think that should be no worries at all. So I've got all these panels to do. And then on the headboard itself, I'll just use like a Scotch-Brite and scuff that up with a Scotch-Brite. And I've just cleaned it off with a wax and grease remover. That's just to get all your fingerprints and any oily residue off before you start sanding it. I've just found that if you start sanding it and you've got fingerprints, it just sort of skims over the top of them because it's sort of like an oily residue and it doesn't actually bite into the alloy. So I've just found that if you clean it off with wax and grease remover, it'll sand back a lot better. Okay, just been out and got some more supplies from Hart's Paints here in Brisbane out at Geebung. Just got some more epoxy. This is the stuff I've been using for this whole build, and it's been really good stuff to work with. I've got no complaints on it. So that's just from Flow Right Coatings, and then this stuff is from the same manufacturer. I think they've just changed their name, but that is some high build primer. I'm not sure whether I'll use that or not. I was nearly out, so I thought I'd get some more just in case I want some more on to spray some on the headboard or the guards or whatever. But yeah, I'm not sure whether I'll use that. Just another thing, I have just given the respirator a service. So this is a respirator I've been using, and this has been a pretty good respirator. It's not overly expensive. It's a pretty good bang for buck respirator that I've found anyway. And I've just given it a service, just changed the vapor filters. So I've not changed them since I've started this build, so I thought I'd better change them. Now I thought they were going to come, there's like a pre-filter that goes on here, so I thought the pre-filters were going to come with the vapor filters, but you got to buy them separately. So I just gave them a tap out and yeah, just replaced the vapor filters. So yeah, pretty much now ready to start spraying all the panels here. So I've just got all these hung up here in this little carport thing. So I'll yeah, start giving them a wax and grease and start giving them a few coats of epoxy. Okay, I ended up giving all these panels about 3 coats, and just on the top side of these infill panels, I just gave that an extra coat. So there's 4 coats on the top side, and then also on the headboard, there's 4 coats on that also. I just wanted to make sure that there's plenty of product on this headboard, so I laid it down pretty thick, pretty wet, and yeah, just to make sure that it sort of fills any sort of imperfections. There was a few little marks from the tube bender. So I just wanted to yeah, sort of fill them in, and hopefully when I rub all this back, it'll rub back sort of nice and flat, and I won't have to put any high build or anything on there. So I'm just hoping all these panels I can just rub back to 600, ready for the base and the clear coat. And yeah, hopefully I won't have to put any high build on there. Okay, it's been about 4 or 5 days since I sprayed the epoxy on, so I've just let that dry, and I've just sat the infill panels back on the tray. Just wanted to see how all that looked, all painted up the same color. So I think that's gonna look pretty bloody good, painted all in the same color as the cab. So I started blocking it back just with the old trusty Durablocks here, just using a 320 dry. So just to take the top off, so I didn't rub through anywhere with the 320, so I think that's going to be plenty of material on there. And then I'll just do a final block back with a bit of 600 wet, I reckon. And yeah, then that's going to be ready for the base and the clear. That's for the infill panels. For the sides of the tray, I reckon what I'll do is I'll put a skim of body filler over just the top here and the side, just anywhere that you see. And then I can, yeah, block that back, get it all nice and smooth with the filler. Just because the rectangle hollow section, it does have like a slight concave on the flats. So yeah, I think I'll sort of smooth that off with some filler first. And then also I still need to put some filler in and blend all the guards into here and that. So yeah, I'll use the filler work on the outside frame, and then I'll probably just spray another coat of epoxy over that, and then just, yeah, rub that back to 320 and 600 as well. So yeah, just got a fair bit of blocking to do. I'll probably just remove all these panels and then just do it on my welding table. I don't think I'll bother filming any of it. It's all pretty sort of repetitive work. So yeah, obviously, yeah, just do the old crisscross techniques with the blocks and yeah, obviously using the guide code as well. Okay, so got a bit of an issue here and it's a bit of a major really, but you can see in there, so you can see that paint blistering on the firewall there, and it's on that lip. Let's get that to focus, but it's on the lip down there as well where the firewall meets with the floor pan. And yeah, what's happening is that master cylinder, the seal has started to leak and it's just, yeah, leaking brake fluid and it's just running down, so dripping and running down here, and then that's just reacted with the paint. So this whole firewall is gonna need to be basically repainted, which is, yeah, just another setback. So that's pretty annoying. Okay, I mentioned it previously, but when the tonner was sprayed, I'm not 100% happy with the overall finish of it. And there's, yeah, multiple things wrong with it, that it does need to be resprayed again. Probably not really gonna be able to tell too much in the video, but I did go through it all in a previous video. But just some of the things is the banana line here. You sort of can see it's got like 2 lines, and yeah, I think that was my stuff up there when I was, yeah, blocking in the banana lines. So yeah, there's them that need fixing up. It's got motley down the side of it, which yeah, it really needs to be rebased. I don't know whether you can see that or not. And just, yeah, multiple other things. There's overspraying the door jambs and a few other bits and pieces. So yeah, it wasn't going to be a massive job to respray, just rub it back and mask it up and then spray it. But because the firewall needs to be repainted, it's just going to add a whole lot more kind of work in there now. Just going to have to probably pull the guards off and maybe pull the engine forward, or whether I do end up pulling the cab off again. I'm not too sure how I'm going to sort of tackle it now, but I think what I'll do for the meantime, I'll just focus on getting this tray finished off, get it all blocked back, ready for base and clear. Now I'm going to send that off to someone. They're going to spray it in a spray booth, and that's just one less thing I have to worry about. And then I can get the drop tank back in there, got to weld in the braces, put the drop tank back in. I need to repaint the chassis. So while all that's getting done, the tray, I can, yeah, focus on all that and then start looking at what I'm going to do with this paint. So I've got someone that's going to paint it. I've been talking to them for a while now. They've got their own YouTube channel, so it's going to be a bit of a collab. But yeah, the problem is they live in Melbourne, so I just have to try and figure out some time to get him up and help out. So we are going to try and get this sprayed in the spray booth. I really don't want to spray it in this shed again. Yeah, I think doing it in the spray booth, it's just going to, yeah, better lighting, controlled environment, and I don't have to worry about bits and pieces going into the paint job or bugs and all that sort of stuff, because it is a controlled environment. Okay, I'm going to continue on blocking all this tray back, getting it all ready for the base and the clear. So I don't think there's any point filming it. It's quite boring, repetitive work. So I'm just going to do that off screen. So I do want to say a big thanks to you guys for supporting this channel this year. Looking back, it's been a pretty successful year for Shenke Garage. As far as the build goes, it's been pretty successful. I know things have sort of slowed down a little bit at the end of the year, but overall, got a fair bit done this year. Got the interior done, got the tray built, got all the wiring done, and heaps of other little bits and pieces finished off with the build. As far as the channel growth, it has slowed down a little bit this year. 0 to 5,000 subscribers, it grew really quickly, and it has sort of tapered off now. It has slowed down a little bit. I am chasing that 10,000 subscriber milestone, so getting pretty close to 8,000. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. It would mean a lot if you could help me out and subscribe to the channel, help me get to that 10,000 milestone. Anyone that did buy merch, a big thank you for supporting the channel with the merch. If anyone does want to purchase a hoodie or a t-shirt, there's various products. I'll put a link in the show notes below. And just for Christmas and the New Year, I'll do a 15% off the entire merch range. So I'll put the link in the show notes. So click on that and it'll have the 15% already applied in that link. So hopefully you guys had a good Christmas and can have a good New Year's. So relax, take it easy, stay safe, and we'll see you next time in the new year on Shenke Garage. Cheers.